someone in, makes it so that Nua cannot miss that annihilation, right? So whoever gets trapped up is in a world of hurt. I do think, though, the composition from side BTK, they do have characters like the Xiao Xiao that can itemize into the Splendor, right? They have the Huan, which is able to go untangible there and dodge that out. But anyone else like Fried Chicken or Zane, if they get caught out by that combo, could be in a world of trouble here. And here's a look at that Pei early game we're mentioning here. He starts up in the Clash lane, does a bit of a cheese here, and look at that, instantly shoves down the lane, gets that priority over for the side of Doxa there.
Yeah, and so now they're going to be able to go ahead and kind of rotate a little quicker there. Shark takes a heap of damage here. Another thing, too, is having Robo Alma on this multi, you're going to have a decent amount of... Oh, my God, look at the damage already. Nua's not supposed to be that good early game, but, man, you can see the combination as the combos coming there. That's going to force Shark back to base.
Absolutely. AYL Gaming with the Motsu has a good amount of poke as well, too, in their composition, right? Motsu's able to use that Cannon Blast to set up the Nua later on. And currently in the early game, it's really frustrating to play against that Motsu, landing those Cannon Blasts, stunning you, and getting vision against your side here.
Yeah, and that was the thing I was going to say, is like the amount of range that they have on the side of AYL Gaming's really going to be something to contend with, especially here in the early game. It's just so annoying. The amount of stun is how far back he can be, landing those cannon blasts on you, stunning you, you're taking damage, and then by that time you're not able to kind of get into these fights that you want. 3 people lined up at a mid around Hoon and pushing his wave.
Absolutely. We see best player here going ahead and taking the teleport back after helping out Fried Chicken a little bit here. Doxa setting up a bit of a freeze there against Fried Chicken, as Pei and Mayin, once again, they're comboing together. We see the synergy between Doxa and his jungler here. They always play together, and they're able to clear the map relatively quickly. I will say, though, BTK is not falling very behind, even though they are against the Pei. So maybe teams are figuring out how to deal with the Pei early game.
Yeah, I do want to say a lot of CC kind of landing there. My big turn is going to be how we handle some of these first objectives when we get there. Still got about a minute and a half before the Tyrants and the Overlord kind of spawn. Ooh, as I say that, Shark actually might have been caught a little bit, trying to take a little bit of a peek there in the bush. They do engage onto him. Cannon Blast lands, and Hoon and Mobazane right there for the support.
Flash ultimate coming out from the Futsu, and he does connect on the Shark before he gets that ultimate, but Hoon, as you mentioned there, is ready to use that ultimate himself and go ahead and zone them away from there. So Flash being blown by Futsu there without much to gain from it.
Yeah, and hopefully that kind of is something that kind of lights a beacon for BTK, so that they know they have something that is down. Can they turn this to their advantage? And speaking of which, Shark actually pokes himself into a bush, gets caught by Robo Alma in there too. Lomax too as well on the side there for the support, and a little bit of a push here from best player and Hoon in mid.
Yeah, while here we go, another ultimate coming out here, and Mobazane is in trouble as he's trapped between 2 boxes, but that just shows you why Long is so consistent. He got ulted by Motsu and Futsu, and he actually ends up surviving.
Oh, we do have the meteor shower come out there from Hoon. Best player dives back into the deep lines, but they spell out those flashes to get away, and no worse for wear is AYL Gaming.
Really even early game here, I have to say. Both teams are 0-0, and the gold is neck and neck. This first Tyrant fight is gonna probably set the pace of the game here. AYL trying to take it down here, but best player is right there. This might come down to a slight fight. Dream Roam comes out onto Pei, lands, and Pei is forced to run away here. Tyrant is at half HP as the fight continues.
Oh, AYL Gaming is actually forced to back up a bit there. They take a loss there. That's going to open it up for BTK to catch this first objective. Very careful in the early game, but BTK narrowly edging their way forward with a good kill there to line up that early game.
Yeah, that was a great play by best player one, identifying that while the Pei is strong in the early game here, he can't quite win an all-out, fight versus the monkey there. So lands that Dream Roam onto him there, forces him to back away, and that allows BTK the positioning to go ahead and set up for that Tyrant, and Futsu gets taken out along with it as well.
Yeah, not just with the Tyrant, though. They use that momentum, go ahead, secure themselves a tower here at bottom. The momentum starting to shift into BTK's favor here.
We're starting to see now that this game's a little bit more traditional, right? Everyone's kind of stuck in their lanes. This is the gameplay that BTK is kind of used to. They were not ready for kind of the rotations and the roams that the last game had. But now that it is a more standardized traditional game, they know what to do. They're playing their lanes right, and they're up 1.5k gold here.
Yeah, so they just need to kind of keep it up, keep that momentum with them. We were talking before when it comes to a lot of new teams, they're able to get some of the kills, but they're not able to answer back by getting some of those objectives, being able to invade the enemy jungle here. Best player doing a good job kind of keeping up that front line to kind of offset some of those cannon blasts as well. But in answer, looks like AYL Gaming able to capture a tower up at top.
Absolutely, and this game, a lot of that gold is on to Hoon here on the Xiao Xiao. He's up 1,000 gold almost on Nua, as well as Zane. So the carries on the side of BTK are properly farmed up here, and they are going to be, you know, carrying the side of BTK, and they have a lot of responsibility on their hands.
Best player way up in front trying to tank all the damage while the rest of his team there pushing in that mid tower. I don't know that we've mentioned it here in this cast, but I want to say how important that mid tower is to kind of opening up the map so that you can kind of really instate your presence onto the enemy team. Here, you doing a great job hacking away at this bottom tower. Doesn't look like Fly Chicken's going to be able to save it here. Oh, we do have that Dream Room coming in there. It's going to pop up you. Is it going to be enough? We do have the Meteor Storm, but it is not going to be enough. You gets taken down in the backside. 3-1 for BTK. In comes Lomax, finds the push on the best player. He doesn't have that Dream Rope to get away. He is down. Looks like Fried Chicken might be in a bad way here. Running for the hills, gets caught by a cannon blast, and the rest of the team finishes him off.
AYL says we can party too, guys. Sets up that emergence and takes their own little bit of an ambush there here. Maybe BTK burnt a little bit too many resources on the Futsu there, because once AYL came in, they kind of all were on cooldown and not really able to fight. Speaking of fight, another fight comes out. Meteor Shower goes down here, and Hoon is doing a lot of damage on that Xiao Xiao.
Yeah, he's doing great as far as the gold keep up there, being able to get some of those kills. He's got a decent amount of damage. He's becoming a real threat when it comes to this team right now, sitting at 4-2 in favor of BTK.
Yeah, looking at that draft, I was not quite, you know, feeling the Xiao Xiao pickup here, but Hoon is able to make it work. He's up 1,000 gold now. And I was looking at the draft, I'm like, hey, they have so much range. You have the Motsu, they have the Nua to go ahead and catch out Xiao Xiao, which is like a relatively low range mage, but he's able to make it work. He's joining these fights. He's DPSing down the Futsu every chance he gets. And he is so far flawless as he's 1-0-3 and perfect kill participation.
Yeah, we're moving into the 8-minute mark. 4-2 in favor of BTK. Only about a little under a 2k gold lead. It's not completely out of the woods for BTK yet. There's still a lot of room for AYL Gaming to turn this around. Best player doing his best, keeping his that Menki up in front to tank a lot of the damage, tank a lot of those cannon blasts as well.
Absolutely, and while AYL Gaming does have that pay that we mentioned does not scale so well, we see he's going a bit more of a tank build, and the side of AYL Gaming scales deceptively well, right? They have the Futsu, they have the Nua here, so it's not going to be, wow, best player, was that a critical steal there in front of AYL Gaming?
Yeah, right in his face. He said, oh, I'm sorry, did you want this? I'm going to go ahead and snatch that away from you. So another objective there picked up for BTK, starting to get in the heads of their opponents. But you can see here, moving through the jungle very smoothly. Shark on the side, able to kind of ward off the two members of AYL Gaming, while the rest of BTK kind of helping to assist with pushing through their lanes.
Absolutely. We haven't seen much of Fried Chicken so far this game yet, but he's scaling up now. That Fatih is a menace in the late game. He's just kind of been chipping away on the side lanes, getting some farm, taking some towers now. And similarly, Futsu is also as strong late game, so I would like to see one of those clashes come out here where they 1v1 each other if we get a chance. But that might be coming up here as we see Hoon pick up the Void Staff. He's just so accelerated into his build here, Hoon. He needs to be able to get into these fights and land those combos, and no one on the side of AYL Gaming could really survive them.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I'm kind of looking for as we move into the later game. We're talking about Futsi, we're talking about Fatih, who do very well when it comes to the scaling. Nuwa, though, has a lot of damage when it comes in there, but we haven't really seen too much. We have seen them be able to kind of come in command on the battlefield, be able to kind of be that menace anywhere out there. We haven't really seen once we get to that point where she's able to kind of start spamming those annihilations out there to really start setting the tone here. Speaking of which, gonna go in there. We do have a dream roll onto the backside, and another kill goes on to Lomax. And Hoon, or actually, no, that was a best player is gonna be able to find a kill on to you. Now, going ahead, continuing their assault on to the Tyrant.
BTK is on fire this game, so we're up 4,000 gold, showing that they do deserve to be here. We saw Mobazane use an aggressive infinite vastness there, not something you see very often, applying the dread onto the side of AYL Gaming in-game and probably in real life too, as they are really ahead this game. Whew.
Oh, they're trying for it. They don't want to let him go, and down goes Alonzo. You can see there, Fly Chicken and a best player there chased him down under his tower. And we might be looking at our first full series of the night. BTK not wanting to go quietly into the night. They have this game 8-2 right now, very firmly in their grasp. They just need to be able to keep this momentum in their favor.
Absolutely, up 5,000 gold and 6 kills. And if it keeps going this way, they are projected to win here. They got to make sure they don't give up this lead and they don't give up this momentum here. They get a catch on the docks that forces the flash away. Best players just so tanky on that monkey. They're eating all of those cannon blasts and annihilations and all the poke on the side of AYL Gaming.
Yeah, and this is why Menki is probably one of my...
that too. Best players just walking up, just stealing everything off of AYL Gaming.
No shame in his game. Just walks up there. It's like, oh, this is mine. I'm sorry. I thought you. No, you guys think this is your jungle, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and snatch that up there. Now BTK going ahead, putting pressure onto the top tower. Tier 2 is down. They're slowly making their way through the lanes, looking maybe to kind of capture onto Alonso. Smells it in the forest, and he is backing out.
Mayin in a bit of a tricky situation here, trying to look for a catch here, as the side of BTK do not really know where they're at. They're taking the Overlord here. I don't see how AYL Gaming can really contest this. They might go for a steal with the Annihilation, but that's probably it as they go ahead and smite away. Best player is just so good at smiting this game, stealing everything away from the side of AYL Gaming and securing these objectives. It's really tough for them to go ahead and secure anything against them.
Yeah, and that's kind of the really debilitating part of this, is that what they have the lead, and every little single thing that AYL Gaming tries to do, whether it's something like try to get the Tyrant, try to get their own buff, best players right there, snatches it away from them and just puts them further and further behind.
Absolutely. It seems like while BTK was getting constantly more and more exponentially ahead, their pace has kind of slowed down, right? They're keeping it at this 5k gold lead here. This is kind of the breaking part of the game. These next fights are very, very crucial here, because if you lose a team fight here, it could be game. Both sides are playing really safe. You can tell BTK definitely really slowed down their pressure too. They don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to throw from this winning position that they have themselves here.
Yeah, but my only question is, especially when it comes to base defense, especially when it comes to trying to charge down that mid or side lane to get those final few high ground towers, that's when Nuwa kind of becomes some of the most dangerous. You also have a Monty on the side there that can catch you with that cannon blast, with that box there. Here right now, doesn't look like BTK is taking any prisoners. They do find themselves a high ground, now strategically moving on to the next one, looking to see if they can catch themselves a second one. Speaking of which, dive into the back line onto BTK. They do find a kill onto Hoon. Now trying to chase down the rest of BTK. Fly Chicken in trouble, gets taken down as well. You finding himself to kill their 3 members of BTK. Are they going to be able to turn this thing around for themselves? Hoon, or no, actually, I believe, yeah, that was a Shark who was able to find himself a kill. But turning that around, Robo Alma turns it around, able to find his own kill as well. It is just best player and Shark left on the board. And is that enough momentum for AYL Gaming?
A bit of a sloppy fight here for BTK, but honestly, not that bad. They get that high ground. They have that minion wave pushing straight into the crystal of AYL Gaming. They need someone to go ahead and respond to that. And all while that's happening, best player ends up taking a Azure Golem on the way out. I would say things ended up pretty well for BTK here, even though they lost that trade there 3 for 2. But good job on AYL Gaming to try and capitalize and push out of the base there, though. But it's just so tough since they're so behind.
I mean, but that's what you wanted to do. You needed to wait for a good opportunity. They flash into the back line of BTK, find themselves a great opportunity. And unfortunately, it does look like they're going to have another Tyrant on the side of a BTK. Like I said, they were able to kind of get that advantage, but just not enough to put them ahead. BTK does, you talked about it before, they've slowed down a little bit here. They need to be very careful here in these next few fights.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky situation. BTK is ahead, and they've slowed down. They want to play it safe and, don't want to throw this. But at the same time, we're 5 minutes away from Tempest, right? Once Tempest comes up, your gold lead doesn't really matter. Everyone's full build. It's just a full-on fight. So this is going to be among one of the last pushes. If AYL Gaming is able to hold this off here, it might go all the way to Tempest.
Ooh, Alonso in the back line. I don't even think they see him. He comes in there, gets CC'd, and taken down very quickly. Hoon catches him with that meteor shot. And that is a man down. 2, in fact, for AYL Gaming. Just that one single mid high ground tower left for their side.
That should be it for the side of AYL Gaming. It's going to be really tough to hold this 5v3 here, especially with the likes of Monkey, full tank Monkey here in the front lines here, pushing everyone through. And it looks like this is going to be our first game 3 of the day as BTK takes it 1-1.